have a favorite hit in your career? If I forced you to give me the best hit, the one that you're proudest of, the one that you remember the most, which one are you going with?
See, I'm always go back to one of two hits because of the magnitude. One was on Algie Crumpler because of the NFC Championship game, and that was kind of a tone setter. And the other one will probably be on Michael Vick a couple of years before that, is another playoff game. But I think the one on Mike was a lot harder because I had like a 20-yard head start running, and I ran into him full speed when I hit him, and he didn't see me coming. So I think that would have been the hardest one, and the fact that I knocked myself out doing it. So that's the one that I remember seeing, but I don't remember doing.
Give me a number here. Number of concussions you'd guess that you have had in your life.
The problem with that is what do you do? What are we considering concussions today? Is it loss of memory? Is it nauseousness? Is it loss of balance? Is it the little, when I hit somebody, I see the little spots? Is that a concussion? You just don't know. If you're saying a full-blown concussion where I lost consciousness.
Count all of those. Count all of those. Everything you're talking about there.
See, I can't. You can't. If I count the sparkle things, there's no way I can count those because that happened pretty much every day in practice sometimes.
Did you play angry?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I always played with a chip on my shoulder. Some call it the chip. I call it a block. I had a block on my shoulder. And that is still there, the way that I carried myself. As the game got nearer and nearer, I knew I needed to separate and be by myself because it was go time for me.
So guys shouldn't approach you? Teammates should not come into they should not come into your space right before a game?
No, they could come into my space, but just don't ask me nothing about the game plan. All right, coaches as well. Hey, the time for asking me about the game plan is over with. if we haven't made our adjustments by now, don't come talk to me nothing about no game plan. I have in my head, I've already played the game a couple of times, so in my mind. So don't come to me talking about nothing about no game plan. But as far as just chatting or whatever, I mean, I still can chat with guys, but I can't go too far as laughter and all that stuff. That's not my mentality.
Did anyone ever make the mistake? Did anyone ever make the mistake of coming up to you, coming in your space and asking you about the game plan when it was no longer time, where the time was up to ask about the game plan?
Oh, yeah. I mean, a couple of guys have done it before. And if it's a young guy, I know how to, calm myself down and be able to answer the question. Because I don't want to frazzle a young guy going into the game. The veteran guys knew. I mean, those guys pick at me because I was so intense. But some coaches, young coaches that would come all of a sudden and ask me a game plan, I'm like, hey, what are you doing? Are you serious? Right before a game, you want to ask me about some game plan? No, I know. Listen, I got it. Unless you're giving me a different adjustment we need to make, then come to me then. Don't come to me with anything before the game.
Have you ever been moved to tears by football?
Absolutely, many a time. You talking to, who you're talking to? Mm-hmm. I mean, listen. When it comes to emotion, I didn't back away from that. I was always an emotional kid. Same thing when I got up here. Obviously, I'm older now. I can control these things. But I mean, football is one of those things that, listen, when you give everything you have towards something and it comes out victorious, sometimes even after a win, I cry. When it's in crunch time in the fourth quarter and you don't know who's going to pull it out, and all of a sudden, boom, we make the play and we win the game. I shed a little tears of joy. So I'm an emotional guy that way.
What age would you say that Brian Dawkins became a man?
What age? A full-grown adult male. I would say probably after my rookie year. Went through a whole lot, and during that time, I had a lot of soul searching to do, and my faith increased tremendously during that time.
Soul searching about what?
Just a lot of things that were going on. I went through a period of depression, taking some medication for that. A lot of things going on at the house. Stopped drinking right along that time. So it's a lot of things that was going through, a lot of the expectations from my team, my football team, of what they was expecting of me. A lot of expectations from my family members, not in my house, but back in Florida, what they was expecting from me, and didn't know how to handle all those things. And so I had to call on my faith and dive more into my faith, and that allowed me to pull out of that depression, stop taking the medicine that I was taking, and be able to grow up a lot. I had to grow up a lot during that time.
What would you say, if I may ask, was the cause of the depression? Was it chemical, or was it things going on around you, or both?
It was both. It was both. The expectations, the demands, not having the answers on how to handle these things, being new, trying to help so much family members that, almost depleted my bank account my rookie year, so I didn't have a lot going into the next year. So there was a lot of things going on at that time that I didn't have answers to. And so that's why I said I had to dive more into my faith to find answers, to be able to pull me out of that darkness, because depression is a dark place, a very dark place.
How were you able to stop drinking?
That was it. I made a decision. Now listen, if this is what I'm going to do, in order for me to go where I need to be in my faith and my relationship with the Father, with the Lord, is I'm going to have to cut out some things. And one of those things that I decided, this is not for everybody, but I decided that alcohol was something I was going to cut out, period. I was going to stop drinking and dedicate myself more to my relationship, not a religion, but my relationship with the Father. And when that happened, it quickly took that thirst or that urge to have that beer or that alcohol after whatever it is you do. Sometimes you have it to just relax or whatever. It quickly took that urge away.
How did you know that you had to stop, Brian? And was it because the liquor was making the depression even worse?
Yeah, well, when you're going through what I was going through at the time, if you allow yourself to, you'll find another crutch to kind of try to help you forget some things. And it was just a lot of brand new things for me, a lot of excitement and joy, but at the same time, a lot of pressure and pain. So not having the answer is always is the thing. If you have an answer to something, it's no longer a problem. When you don't have an answer for something and you're searching, that's when that darkness gets even deeper.
Thank you, Brian, so much. That ended up in an unexpected place. We were
Yes,
having
it
fun,
did.
and then we all of a sudden ended. But